everybody. I am excited to welcome you to my second tutorial, and I'm going to use this time to share how to use the warped masks, shadows, and creases in Photoshop Elements. And of course, if you own Photoshop, many of the things that I will show will apply there too. Now I'm going to start basically just showing how to basically get those masks and shadows and creases in to Photoshop Elements for those of you who are newbies, because I certainly can relate and I know what it feels like to be new at this program and not even know how to open up a document. So basically what I'm going to do is, for those of you who are versed in this, you'll just have to bear with us, but we're going to go up to File, and I'm just going to show you how I got all of these wonderful pieces down here in the bottom inside of Photoshop Elements. So I'm going to go ahead and click Open from File, and I'm going to choose a mask, in this case from this kit, and if you have the kit then you can go ahead and do the same thing. And I want you to select both parts, and we're going to choose mask number 3, part 1 and 2. So we want the mask and the shadow, and we click Open. And then you'll notice that they drop down here at the bottom, and you've got your mask and you've got your shadow. And that's basically where you would begin. And you can then start with your shadow, grab your mask, and just drop it right on top, and you'll have a mask and shadow right here to work with within the layer panel of this project specifically. But we are going to go ahead and just go back up here, and I'm going to undo what I've done so far in this specific area, and we're going to just start from scratch. So you'll notice I've started with the shadow. And from there, what we want to do is go ahead and once again grab our mask, drag it on top, and now you have a mask and shadow, 2 parts to play with. Next, we're going to grab a photo, and you would have brought your photos in the exact same way I just showed you how to bring in the mask and the shadow from the kit. You just browse out and grab what you need. Now basically what I'm going to do is resize this beautiful photograph from T2 Photography. My good friend Teresa Tessier took these of my boys, and I absolutely love them. So I'm just resizing that photo because it was a nice large photo. And then you'll notice that it has landed here right above my mask, and I am going to use a hotkey, Control G or Command G if you work in a Mac, and that is how you clip the photo to the mask. So whatever is above will clip to what is below. And what's beautiful about Photoshop is that you can move your photo, or if you enlarge that photo, it all works within inside of that mask. So really nice. All right, now with the masks and the shadows and creases, you can definitely add creases to a color photo. And in this case, I'll just show you 2 examples. So here's our crease. And you'll notice the crease is quite large in regards to this photograph. I can either resize that, or I can leave it the way it is, and I can check it if I like it. And then basically I'm going to go again and Command G or Control G, and that will snap it right into place right within the parameters of my photograph. And I'm going to move that down. I'm going to go up to what's called the blending mode. So you see when I hover over this normal, it says set the blending mode for the layer. So for this layer in specific, I am going to select overlay. And when you select overlay, it basically creates an overlay of that element. If we wanted to, for example, make this a little bit darker, a little bit more stand out, we could always right click like I just did and select duplicate layer, and it will create an additional layer with the same element. And you'll notice that it might be a little too dark, so I'm going to go ahead and just drop that opacity down. You can see about 33%, and that will basically give us a crease mark that's a little darker than what it was to start with, but not quite too strong. And then from there we can maybe grab another crease, and we are going to go ahead again and Command or Control G, and you can play around with the crease itself. You can rotate it and get a different look because it's going to stay within the parameters of that photo, which is handy. And again, just overlay, And you get the idea. Now, one other great way to use these creases is on black and white or sepia tone pictures. I find that they just look really outstanding on that color. So as an example of that, let's just go down to a couple of photos here. So I've used a couple different masks and different crease marks to create the look that you see on these photographs. And in Photoshop Elements, you can purchase these great things called actions that apply all kinds of different color tones and what have you to your photographs, which is really handy. Sorry for the phone ringing there in the background. This is real life over here. So, okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to quickly change the color within Photoshop Elements of your photograph. So let's go to Enhance, and we're going to quickly change this or convert it to black and white. And you can adjust the intensity of the colors, but we're just going to leave that as is. And then back up to Enhance, and I'm going to choose Adjust Color. I'm going to select Color Variations, and you can choose, for example, what I'm going to do is decrease the green and then decrease the blue, and I'm going to click that twice and darken, and I got a nice sort of a fun sepia tone look to that photograph. And again, you know, I may play with that on my own a little more just to get the look that I'm hoping for, but you get the gist. Now let's go ahead and show you some other fun examples of these masks in use, and you'll see that there's some great options for how to use those masks. And I'm going to show you, let's see. Oh yes, a really great way to use these masks is with papers. And I've already gone ahead and created one ahead of time so you could see how it works. So same idea, you would start with your shadow, and then you would add the mask on top. You would bring in a nice sheet of paper, whatever paper that you want to use, and you would drag that paper on top and resize it roughly, and it will fill that mask. And then you would go ahead and add some nice crease marks. And of course, as you can see, the crease marks, and let's just maybe grab a new one. And of course, you want to make sure this layers panel works with whatever placement you put it in. So I'm going to lay that on top of my paper, and I'm going to adjust it and maybe even enlarge it. And I like that, so I click check, and we are going to, I'm kind of going backwards here, but overlay, and of course you'll want to Command or Control G to make that snap right into place. And these ones as well. And you see you can just really have fun with creasing up your paper, photos, whatever you want. It's a lot of fun to work with these. I really enjoy the look that it creates, and I hope you have a lot of fun working with them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has given you some great ideas and tips on how to use this new product, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Thanks again.